Now at 6, water troubles in Caney, Kansas. We'll speak to the city and residents about the issues. Plus, a new tribute for the fallen Joplin police officers. We'll take a look. And a more than 100-year-old downtown Joplin business is closing its doors.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
One small Montgomery County, Kansas town is dealing with the latest in a sequence of water issues. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The latest problem started on Christmas Day for Caney's 1,700 residents. KOAM's Yana Hautala looks at what the city's doing to fix the problem.
After a long summer and fall dealing with drought and logjams, the city of Caney is facing another water issue. This time, it's because of the cold weather.
The river had turned over and was so concentrated with silt and soot. I went out to the plant and worked with our operator, and we were having trouble getting water to filter through the filtering process of the plant.
The city workers are doing their best to take care of the situation.
We've been running since last Thursday, 24 hours a day, up at the plant trying to keep it clean to get water back to town.
Cold weather not only brought problems with the water plant, but it also froze pipes. Zellner says the city is working with residents to lower the water usage. The city is grateful for the help they have gotten during the hard times.
We've been distributing bottled water to people. We started that Monday morning, and up to right now we've distributed over 20 pallets of bottled water.
The city crew has now increased the pressure of the filters.
Pressure's good. We just have to get tests sent off to the labs for the state for them to approve us to go off the boil order.
The next step is sending water samples to lab on Tuesday.
Of course, Monday's a holiday, so as soon as we can get them to them Tuesday, it's 24 hours before we'll know, and hopefully by the following day on Wednesday, if everything goes well, we'll be off that boil order.
In Caney, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
The Caney residents have dealt with a lot of water issues in recent months. On September 14th, the city declared a water emergency during a shortage of water supply needed for essential uses. That was during the drought. In early October, a log jam was removed from the Little Caney River. That jam put pressure on the city's water system. Then on October 18th, water was shut off to some residents for a water leak repair at 4th and Vine. On October 28th, a boil advisory was issued for the city of Caney following a water line break, resulting in a drop in pressure. The Caney Police Department is asking the public for their help in finding a suspect in a recent felony theft case. They're looking for 43-year-old Latosha Devon Stewart, also known as Latasha Norwood. They say she tricked a cashier at Dollar General into placing more than $1,000 on a gift card on Christmas Eve. Police say she has numerous aliases and an extensive criminal history in several other states for similar crimes. One man is dead following a crash in Cherokee County, Kansas. It happened around 6:30 this morning on Baghdad Road near the Missouri-Kansas state line. Authorities say 21-year-old Asti Zared of Miami, Oklahoma, went off the road. His vehicle then overturned and hit a tree. Zared died in that crash. His passenger was not injured. He walked to a nearby convenience store to get help. Sam Lane joined us now with a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. You know, we've been talking about that water issue over in Caney, and a large part of that was because of the drought situation, and we still forget that we're still in a drought in a large part of southeastern Kansas. In fact, extreme to exceptional drought is still in effect for western parts of our viewing area. Hopefully we're going to see some relief coming in the forecast, but it's going to be a while. Temperatures over the last 36 hours, we set a record high yesterday, but not today. We were down in the 30s this morning and only made it into the lower 50s this afternoon, which is actually pretty close to the normals. 46 is what we're expecting at 6, and then dropping through the 40s all the way down to 37 by tomorrow morning. A look down the lane, well, we're going to have a sunny Saturday with a breezy Sunday coming up, and then a stormy Monday in our forecast. And is the chill going to return? Well, I'll have the answer in just a little bit.
See you soon. The Joplin business community joins together to prepare a memorial for 2 officers who lost their lives in the line of duty last March. Foundation is laid for a memorial bench in honor of the late Corporal Ben Cooper and Officer Jake Reed. Last March, you'll recall, the two Joplin officers died after an exchange of gunfire with a suspect in the parking lot in front of The Buckle at the North Park Crossing Shopping Center. The bench has already been made by Quality Memorials with the help of some other area businesses. It'll be placed on the pedestal during a ceremony near the anniversary. One of Joplin's oldest downtown businesses will close next month. Pearl Brothers Hardware Store opened in 1905. It'll officially close on January 28th. The current owner is retiring and says at the age of 67 he just can't keep up with the demanding work of a hardware store.
It's crazy. I've been shopping here since I was 2 years old, so it hasn't changed a bit. It's same people, same great deals, but it's crazy that it's closing.
Blue Haven Investments in Homes in Joplin has a contract to buy the building and the Pearl Brothers name. Officials say they do plan to renovate the building. There's still some hope for Menards to find itself a home in Joplin. KOAM reached out to Menards on the status of the retail chain, and they wrote back, quote, "With the present economics and regulatory chaos in Washington, we have put new stores on hold pending a return or non-return to economic common sense," end quote. We then reached out to the city of Joplin, and they confirmed that building Menards is still an active project. Coming up, going to the zoo can be fun, but what about bringing the zoo to your house? We're going to hear from a Joplin student on his own home zoo. Plus, it's the final day of the Neosho Holiday Classic at Neosho High School. We'll have the highlights. KOAM is always looking to hear from aspiring journalists, so we're continuing a program where we air stories that are shot, written, and edited by local students. This next story comes to us from Joplin High School. Some people have dogs and cats as pets, others have kangaroos. Joplin Eagles television student reporter Miles Griffith introduces us to a student with his own zoo at his house.
Gavin Hollingshead spends much of his time after school watering his emus. It's just one of his many pets at his house. He's a College Heights Cougar and a student in the Franklin Tech Jet HD program. He doesn't own cougars or eagles, but he could someday.
It's very weird. It's abnormal, even. You know, normally you go inside, you got a cat, maybe you got a dog running around outside. And then I go outside and I see this, and this is very abnormal and weird.
It is weird, but cool. But what is his favorite?
So my favorite animal out here is probably the male emu. The female emu, she's a little mean to him, but I really like the male one because he just kind of chills. He's borderline a cat. He likes to be pet.
He also has kangaroos, camels, and miniature horses. So what does it take to take care of them each day?
We have to get food, and typically that food is in larger bags. You gotta break up fights between some of the animals, because some of them can get a little trying to assert their dominance, which is funny. You know, you really just got to make sure that they don't get themselves hurt.
Gavin's mom, Audra, says the family just loves exotic animals.
The biggest exotic animal auction is in Macon, Missouri. And we were walking around and a guy had a pouch, kept like looking in it, and I asked him what was in it, and he pulled out a baby kangaroo, and it was just so cute. And so and we had him for a couple of years, and he did well, so we got some females, and it's just kind of grown from there.
Gavin says his family is next looking to get a monkey to add to the farm.
That's amazing. Emu, borderline cat. Again, thanks to Joplin High School student Miles Griffith for that report. A little bit later, Fort Smith Northside hits the court against the Neosho Wildcats girls basketball team. We're going to have the highlights.
We'll also have the highlights on your weekend forecast, which looks to be warm, and also some storms on Monday when we return. Well, we set a record yesterday with a high temperature. That felt really nice, but today a little bit closer to normal with temperatures in the 50s across the area. Right now, Sky Tracker radar showing some showers all the way over in southern Illinois. That's the closest we have any precipitation to our area. Right now it's pretty dry across the south central plains, but that's going to be changing too. This afternoon we made it up to 53 after starting out at 36, which was above the normals of 45 and 26. And of course, we weren't anywhere near those records of -9 and 70 back in 1951. Storm Tracker radar shows the satellite showing clouds moving up from the south and east today. They're now starting to move off towards the east. No real precipitation falling out of this over our area. We do have some more high clouds spilling over from the Rocky Mountains. That will start to move into our area later on tonight and tomorrow. But again, no precipitation expected over the next 48 hours. Temperatures right now have cooled down quite nicely. 38 in Chanute and in Parsons, 43 in Lamar, 47 in Joplin, 50 down in Anderson right now for one of the warmest readings. But even with that 50 degrees, we're around 10 to 15 degrees cooler today than we were 24 hours ago. And so we're kind of headed back downward. But don't worry, we're going to be going right back the other direction as we head into the weekend. Right now we're 47. It feels like 47 because of a calm wind. Dew point's 34 and the pressure is currently steady. Here's the precip chances over the next 36 hours. You can see not much to go on. We have to wait until Monday before the rain chances really start to increase. Our forecast for tonight shows southerly winds across our area with lows generally in the 30s with just passing clouds here and there. And then as we go through Saturday, we're going to see breezy conditions with temperatures in the 60s once again, low to mid 60s, especially down in Oklahoma. Could stay in the upper 50s up to the north, but still a pretty pleasant day. Then as we go into Sunday morning, we're going to see lows generally in the 40s across our area with some clouds. And then Sunday afternoon, it's going to get a little bit windy out there with those southerly winds bringing up the warmth and the moisture with highs again, low to mid 60s, maybe even approaching 70 down in Grove. Then as we head through Sunday night into Monday morning, mostly cloudy skies as the moisture really starts to pool. And then we're going to see southerly winds continuing with lows in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees as we move into Monday morning. And that's going to set the stage for some thunderstorms as we go into Monday afternoon. In fact, here's a look at the storm system. Now moving into the west coast, that's going to make its way across the Rocky Mountains over the weekend. And then as it pulls out into the plains on Monday, that's when the stormy weather starts to break out across our area and especially to the south. And then once that system moves by, we'll have a little bit of cold air come in behind it. Not as cold as what we just experienced, but still a little bit chilly, but more near normal conditions as we move into the middle part of next week. Rainfall amounts are generally going to be around 1/3 of an inch from the metro area south and east, maybe even over 2.5 inches near Branson. But notice a very tight gradient. As you go back to the west and northwest, not very much rainfall expected at all. So you have to wait a little bit longer before that drought has any improvement. Over the next 7 days, tomorrow 62, 64 on Sunday, nice day. Then Monday, 66 in thunderstorms. And again, Dow, some of those could be strong or severe, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. And then returning back to more seasonable conditions as we head towards the middle part of next week.
In the meantime, unseasonably warm to begin and end a year.
Exactly correct.
Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, the Missouri Southern women hit the floor to finish up their non-conference schedule against Illinois Springfield. And the Neosho girls aim for a tournament title at the Neosho Holiday Classic. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more up next.
Today is the final day of the Neosho Holiday Classic at Neosho High School. On the girls' side, the tournament host Wildcats have a shot at the championship today, facing Fort Smith Northside in the title game. And for Neosho, their first championship game appearance in the Holiday Classic in 6 years. A fast start for Northside. Ariana Gooden gives it up to Cherish Blackman on the break. She lays it in. Timeout Neosho. Karis Washington, really good tonight for Northside. Drives and scores. And the foul, Washington scores 26 in this one. Northside holds Neosho without a field goal in the first half. Wildcats get something going in the third. Becklin Garrett, nice cut, lays it in. Then Maylin Garrett driving down the lane, finishes with the left. The third quarter was the best quarter for the Wildcats. It just wasn't enough to get back in. And Neosho falls 51-19 to finish as the Holiday Classic runner-up. On the boys' side, two local teams playing for third place. Neosho facing the Monette Cubs. Early on, Blaine Saltzman loses it, collects it, and knocks down the reverse. Monette up 2. But Neosho catches fire to close the first quarter. Cale Smith steals, gets it ahead to Isaiah Green. Green finishes and the foul. He gets a team-high 15 points plus 10 assists. Carter Bosley also a double-double. Tough shot goes, 12 points, 10 rebounds for Bosley. Then Michael Day got the hot hand three from the right side. Later in the first, straight away for another three. Neosho scores 21 straight in the first quarter. They're up 16 at halftime. But the Cubs, they're not going away. Back to Salzman for three. Monette gets this thing to a 6-point game in the fourth. Cale Smith, though, working inside for the Wildcats. 11 points, 6 boards for Smith. Neosho holds off Monette tonight to take third at the Classic, winning 54-41. The Missouri Southern women are 11-1 coming out of the holiday break. They'll be back to their MIAA schedule on Monday, facing the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. First, though, ninth-ranked Lions finish up their non-conference schedule tonight at home against Illinois Springfield. That game is at halftime with Southern leading big, 52-21. Lacey Stokes leads the Lions with 12 points. We'll have highlights from this game right here tonight at 10. The Kansas City Chiefs are 12-3 with just 2 games left in the regular season. On Sunday, the Chiefs play at home against division rival Denver. Like we do every Friday during the season, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
The Chiefs begin the new calendar year a rematch against the Denver Broncos. Now, when the Chiefs captured the AFC West title a couple weeks ago in the 7th straight year and did it against Houston, it pulled the Chiefs even. How about starting the new year with this nugget? The Chiefs have won the AFC West 15 times. The Raiders have won the West 15 times. The Chargers have won the West 15 times. And the Broncos, they've won the West, you got it, 15 times. Now, it took number 15, Patrick Mahomes and his teammates, to even the score in a division as competitive as any since 1960. Now, what's the perfect way to ring in the new year? How about a 15th straight victory over the Denver Broncos? Happy New Year on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Now, that Chiefs-Broncos game, of course, is going to begin at noon right here on KOAM. In that game, the Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. And it's hard to believe that anybody, especially division rivals, can beat a team 15 times in a row.
Isn't that something? I think the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs, the Royals were in the World Series.
That feels like a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Bert Shrum served in the U.S. Army for 2 years. The prior Oklahoma native was stationed in New Guinea, the Philippines, and Japan. And we're proud to salute technician Bert Shrum, a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to check out how a local organization is ringing in the new year. Plus, a House committee releases 6 years' worth of former President Trump's tax returns. And some tips on keeping your pets safe during this weekend's New Year celebrations. Then, tonight on KOAM News at 10, Russia's invasion of Ukraine topped world headlines in 2022. It was also the year a U.S. drone strike in Afghanistan killed al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. The world said goodbye to the British monarch, Queen Elizabeth, and the world witnessed the most powerful volcanic eruption in 140 years. We're going to look back at all that and a lot more as we remember the biggest international stories of 2022 tonight on KOAM News at 10. These retrospectives are always interesting, sometimes astounding when you think how much happened in the course of 12 months. So join us for that tonight at 10.
I think the big weather story this year was the drought.
Yes, certainly around here, wildfires as well.
Absolutely,
but
wildfires.
the drought.
Hopefully we're going to put a dent in that as we head towards Monday with storms. But until then, we're going to have a nice weekend with temperatures in the 60s, so enjoy it, because next week we're going to go right back into the cold a little bit with temperatures more seasonable.
Final sports note.
We told you the Neosho girls finished second at the Neosho Holiday Classic. They had 2 players named to the all-tournament team. Carly Ellick and Becklyn Garrett were their all-tournament selections.
Congratulations to both. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.